Hey guys, it's Ginny Silver. We're doing live California EDD unemployment Q&A. It is Friday today. What day? August 20th. Losing track. I'm having a hard time. All right, you guys, we are going to get right into the questions that start at 4 o'clock. Before I do, yesterday I released a video on the Treasury Secretary and Department of Labor Secretary who stated that additional remaining funds from the American Rescue Plan Act state and local government funds that are not yet utilized by states can choose to allocate those to additional weeks of federal unemployment benefits, which means PEUC and PUA. That means now I was clear in this video about this, but I want to make sure you guys understand that. What this means is that states, if they have remaining funds in that state and local government fund, can choose to allocate it to unemployment benefits. So that doesn't mean that it is extended. It means that states have the option if the funds are available and if the state doesn't already have those funds earmarked for something else and chooses to do so. So I have a message into the Department of Finance. I had to email several different organizations, different branches of the government offices to see exactly who would be able to get me that number, because I want to find out how much there's left to be allocated from that fund and how much has already been used. So I have messages into the Department of Finance to see if they will tell me that number. All right, we're going to start at 4 o'clock. Once I find it, there it is. Okay, right at 4 o'clock is Scotty. Hi, Scotty. I hope you're well. Christine at 4 o'clock. Hi, Jenny. Anything yet on the extension? I don't know if it will be applicable for ones who are on Tier 2 or if we can even still collect regular UI benefits if they decide not to extend. So what I just covered was the newest development that we're next going to wait and see if California has additional funds in the state and local government fund, which is different from unemployment benefits. It's just kind of a generalized fund for the state to decide how it uses it from the American Rescue Plan Act. If the state does have additional funds there and the state chooses to use those funds, they aren't already earmarked for something else for unemployment, then there is a possibility that additional weeks could be added in that way. But that's still a big if. Now, if you are currently collecting PEUC, your PEUC extension is going to end claim week ending September 4th. After September 4th, you're going to certify either on the 5th or the following week if you're on a different certification cycle, and then you'll collect that last remaining payout. After that, if you qualify for Fed-Ed, you'll be automatically moved over to a Fed-Ed extension and collect only one additional week on Fed-Ed extension because that then expires claim week ending September 11th. Now, after that, for those of you that are W-2 regular employees collecting on UI or PEUC or Fed-Ed, you will be able to file a new claim when you reach the end of your benefit year, 12 months after your claim start date, if you worked within the last 18 months. So that is your course of action. All right, Dennis at 4 o'clock after I drink some of this tea. All right, Dennis says, hi, my account hit $0. I'm filed for a PEUC extension. Are they still giving out extensions? Yes, up until claim week ending September 4th only. Now you're going to receive an automatic award letter. Usually comes about 1 week after you hit a $0 balance. That award letter is going to specify much more claim balance and many more weeks than what you actually will be able to collect because it's an auto-generated letter. You will only be able to collect PEUC up until claim week ending September 4th, at which point the program will then expire. All right. Hello, Heidi. All right, Anthony at 4 o'clock. Will they backdate my claim? The beginning of the pandemic, when this all stopped my work, I only applied for PUA because of your website and finding out that I was eligible. Well, I'm really glad that I helped you to find out that you were eligible. So yes, you are able to still backdate your claim, but the date in which you can backdate might not be as early as you were actually affected by the pandemic. If you filed your claim December 27th or later, which it sounds like you did, then you can backdate as early as December 6th. So That's the earliest you can backdate. Now, with that being said, if your backdate is rejected, if it's denied, then that would most likely be because changing your claim's date shifts the base period. And the base period is the month's worth of wages, or in your case, your PUA, so probably self-employment income. It shifts the dates that they're looking at because they look at the 12 to 18 months prior to your claim. So if you backdate your claim and you shift the base period, if it is denied, it's because your wages or your self-employment income was too different during that period. Try again if it is denied with a date that's like a month closer to your actual application date and see if you are approved that way. All right, 401. I called and I was told that my claim was invalid. Okay, I'm sorry to hear that. What else did they tell you on the line? Let me know in the chat box because I don't have enough information on this to help you. If you called and they told you it was invalid, I'm assuming that you had some sort of a discussion with them about why and what to do next. If not, you don't have any next steps on what to do or how to fix your claim, and you need additional help, then I would contact your assembly member to see if they are able to help get you some answers or get moving with your claim. And Michael can drop the link in the chat box on how to contact your assembly member. Okay, Michelle at 402. What would be acceptable documentation for someone who was offered a job but couldn't get it due to COVID-19? Okay, so your offer letter. You would have received some sort of an offer letter from your potential employer. So either they actually hired you, which it sounds like they didn't, and that would be a hire notice in the HR department would be able to provide you with that. But it sounds like you were just offered. So whatever offer letter they sent you, if they didn't send you an official offer letter, then you will use whatever email or communication you had from them. All right. Sybil at 402. Hi, Jenny. Thank you. I appreciate that. Year ended 5/2. I'm on UI. Certified on Sunday and have a balance of $2,000 and will end 4/9 or can still collect. Okay, so your year ended on 5/2. If your year already ended back in May and now it's August, then you would be on a PEUC extension. PEUC extensions are going to end claim week ending September 4th, regardless of balance. So you are not going to collect any of your PEUC extension, if that is what you're on, past claim week ending September 4th. After that, if you qualify to go on a Fed-Ed extension, then you would be automatically migrated over to that for one additional week of Fed-Ed extension, and that would end claim week ending September 11th. All right, Amy at 403. I hear there's a possibility of an extension of UI benefits if President Biden signs it. So there's nothing proposed and moving in Congress right now, so there's nothing for him to sign. The options, the ways that an extension would be passed, number one would be if, given the recent development with the video that I shared yesterday with the Treasury Secretary and Department of Labor Secretary, stated that if states have additional remaining funds in their American Rescue Plan Act state and local funds, they can choose to allocate that, if there's anything left, to additional weeks of federal unemployment. So that's one possibility. The next possibility is that something would need to be proposed, passed, and signed into law in Congress. And currently we have nothing moving in Congress regarding unemployment benefit extensions. The third thing that people are asking about is, can Biden sign an executive order? The thing with executive orders is that the president does not have what's known as power of the purse. He can't create new spending through an executive order. He can reallocate funds that are already there, but he can't necessarily reallocate them for a completely different purpose. And anything that he does allocate them for can be challenged by Congress, because that's really tricky waters there. So that it's not as easy as him just signing something. Those are kind of our three areas there that you would be looking at. All right, Alfonso at 403. Hi, Ginny. I have opened my claim in June. Have not received a payment yet. Please help. Okay, so Alfonso, did you receive an award letter? I don't know which article to use. Did you receive an award letter, or did you simply file an application and you're waiting for that to be processed? Let me know in the chat box and I'll check and see. If you filed a claim and you have not yet been approved, new claims and new applications can take up to 3 weeks to be approved. Once you are approved for unemployment benefits, you'll receive an award letter. And then after that, you'll be able to certify. Once you certify, those certifications are going to be stuck in pending for the first up to 3 weeks while your claim is in UISD review, which is a period of time when they perform additional fraud checks. So it takes quite a while for a new application and a new claim to actually be processed through. All right, my throat's struggling. All right, 403, hello. All right, looking for a question. Where is it? No, a little Rambo, hi. All right, I already did that one. All right, first time payments are stuck in pending. Okay, so if your payments are stuck in pending, number one, make sure that your benefit year didn't expire and that you're not required to file a new claim, because that's something you have to fix yourself and you can do it right away. Look in UI Online. If you're UI, PEUC, or Fed-Ed, claim start date, count 12 months after that. If you're beyond that and you worked within the last 18 months, you're required to file a new claim. So that could be a reason why. For all other reasons for pending, you're going to need to either, number one, you can wait for conditional payments to be applied, which means that as long as you've received one or more payouts on your unemployment claim previously, and you've been pending for over 2 weeks, then the EDD will automatically issue you conditional payments, and then later on, they will fix the pending issue, collect whatever information they need, etc. But the thing with that is it can take up until September 30th for them to do so. So the more effective way to deal with it is either to call customer service, and Michael can drop all the call tips, the discount code for claimer, the 134 trick, etc. Or you can contact your assembly member, and he's going to drop that link for you as well. And contacting your assembly member is free. And in many cases, they have been able to help my subscribers go from pending to paid. And they've been doing it much more quickly recently because they have new staff members allocated for EDD claimant assistance. And with the conditional payment program now in effect, they're able to help a lot more with getting those pendings fixed. Okay. Emily at 405. How do I correctly respond to self-certification questions? Have you worked or earned money this week? Well, did you work or earn money this week? If you are self-employed, you're going to claim the income, the self-employment income, the week in which you receive the payment. If you are an employee of someone else, then you are going to claim that income the week in which you perform the work, regardless of when you receive the payment. So you're going to select either yes or no based on which one applies to you, and then enter in how much you earned. Okay, already did that one. Blink once if you love your viewers. Well, I blink. That's one of my problems, though, you guys, that you guys all tease me on, is that I blink so much in my videos. So I can't just blink once. It's like blink 3,000 times. But I do love you guys. All right, Emily. This is part 2 of Emily's question. When I only earned money and not worked, meaning I did not work, I just got a payment from work performed. Depends on if you are self-employed or W-2 earner. Self-employed, you claim it when you get the payment. Employee, you claim it when you do the work. Okay. Going back up because this skipped ahead a little bit. There it is. All right. Did that one. Miriam at 406. Hi, Ginny. EDD called me stating I was overpaid. Is that bad? What can I do? Okay, so what is the reason for overpayment? If you were overpaid, the EDD will want you to pay those benefits back. They will issue you an overpayment notice, an amount that you have to pay back. If you were overpaid due to no fault of your own. You did not submit a false statement. All the information that you submitted was correct, and it was through no fault of your own, then you can apply for an overpayment waiver, and you need to ask for this. And if they don't let you apply for it, then contact your assembly member and tell them that you need to request an overpayment waiver and have them work with EDD on getting that sent over to you. You may be able to have the overpayment waived if it was not fraudulent, no fault of your own, you didn't submit a false statement, and it causes financial hardship for you to repay it. So that's what you're going to need to do with that. And Michael can share how to contact your assembly member in case you need it. All right, Argelia at 406. If I have a regular UI self-employed, regular UI isn't for the self-employed though. Can you now apply for FPUC? Okay, my friend, you have all of your programs wrong. Let me correct your terminology that you're using here. Regular UI is for prior employees, people that were employees that had a W-2. Self-employed collect PUA. FPUC is the $300 boost. So no, you wouldn't apply for FPUC. Now, if you are receiving, my niece has a daycare. Okay. So if your niece owns a daycare, then she would be a business owner. She would be self-employed. So that would mean that she's receiving PUA. PUA is going to end claim week ending September 4th, and there is nothing following it unless she had W-2 employee earnings within the last 18 months. In that case, if she did perhaps perform a little bit of employee-related work over the last year, then she would qualify to file a regular unemployment claim once PUA ends. But because she's self-employed, PUA ends claim week ending September 4th, and there's nothing additional after that at this time. All right, Jameson. 406, EDD placed me on PUA because I didn't qualify for a regular extension. I worked at a movie theater starting in 2019 up to 2020 when we got furloughed in March 2020 due to COVID. Okay. Is there a question, Jameson? I see a part two. You guys, you can't do part twos because then I don't actually see your question, but luckily I found it this time. Okay, I've never been self-employed, never reported such. My weekly amount has been the lowest, 167 in the boost. What does this mean for us? What will we have to provide for them? Okay, so I think what you're asking about is the PUA self-employment verification notice that I'm guessing you received. Is that what you're talking about? Now, the PUA self-employment, that notice stated self-employment/employment verification. If you're awarded PUA, there's a variety of different reasons why you could be on PUA, even if you're not self-employed. So you're only going to have to provide proof of self-employment if you were in fact self-employed, which you weren't. You were an employee. So you are going to next await the second phase of this notification that they're sending out. They're sending out, this was like a preliminary one that they sent out. Next, they're going to send you another one that gives you the steps that you must do for your unique claim. So they should tell you on there what is required of your claim, and what sort of documentation you need in the next email. So the one that was sent out yesterday is simply a preliminary one. So you're going to be awaiting that next email. Let me unpin this comment that's here. Okay, 407 for UI, can someone certify for that 1 week before September 4th? Yes. All right, Red Sea at 407, Department of Labor said they cannot use the fund for the $300. Correct. It would be for PEUC and PUA if the state has it available and if they choose to do so. Susan Hoffman, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Daniel at 408, what should I do if my benefits are pending for a while maybe already? If you are pending, make sure that it's not because you have to file a new claim. Just double check that. Make sure your claim is not over a year old for UI, PEUC, or Fed-Ed, because you can fix that yourself by filing a new claim. But if it's pending for another reason, you can contact the EDD. If you can't get through, then use the 134 trick or pay and use claimer and use the discount code that Michael can share. or contact your assembly member, and they should be able to help you. And they've been very efficient the last several weeks in most cases. But you can wait for a conditional payment to come through. If you've been paid already on your unemployment claim, then the EDD is now required by a class action settlement agreement to push those pending payments to you paid if you received one or more unemployment payouts on your claim previously, and if you've been pending for over 2 weeks. But the problem with waiting for a conditional payment to just happen is that the EDD has up until September 30th, according to the settlement agreement, in order to pay those out. So if you don't want to wait, then contact your assembly member or use one of the tips to call and actually get through to the EDD. All right, Dennis at 408. Are they still giving out PEUC extension? Okay, I already answered that one, Dennis. Ocean Blue, you're very welcome. Thank you. Rosa, 408. Does anyone know if CVD Social updated today? I haven't been able to see the message they sent. I do not know what you're referencing. I'm sorry. I just don't. Okay, Alfonso, Ginny, I opened my claim on June and have not, okay, there are lots of duplicates. So my moderator deletes the duplicates in the chat, but the software that I have that makes things more efficient on my end doesn't delete them, and it's a problem. All right, ES Vines at 409, please guide about submitting the evidence of self-employment. Suppose someone made hardly $400 or less from self-employment and entire work was done on cash. How to provide evidence then? Okay, so if you are self-employed, you are required to file and claim income taxes on your self-employment income if you earn $400 or more. Now, if you earn $600 or more from one specific company or individual, then they are required to issue you a 1099, but you have to pay taxes on $400 or more. So if you, as long as you earned over $400, you have to claim it on your taxes. So you should have, as long as it was above that amount, because anything below that, it can be deemed a hobby. As long as it was above that amount, you should have a Schedule C on your income tax return. So the EDD will want documentation for the year prior to your unemployment claim. So if your claim started in 2020, they will want your 2019 Schedule C. Now, what the EDD is going to ask you for, they might have some additional documents that will be acceptable. And I did share that documentation in a video yesterday, which is from information from the Department of Labor. So I did list off a few additional ways that you could verify self-employment in that video, so watch that. But they're going to want to see your net income. So it's going to, I think EDD is going to ask for things that are not a 1099 because that doesn't show net income. They're going to want to see ethics. Now, there's two different reasons for verifying self-employment. There's verifying self-employment income, and there's verifying that you are, in fact, self-employed. If you don't have a Schedule C, it's not going to prove your income. So it would reduce your weekly benefit award amount all the way down to $167, unless you can prove your income somehow. But then you also have to prove that you were self-employed. Now, the Department of Labor listed that you could use something such as a business license, such as a business plan was used in there, etc. So we do kind of need to see exactly what the EDD asks for, and they will send you out another notice shortly with more specific details. But watch yesterday's video where I go into that more. All right, 409, my last 4 weeks, which I have certified but have been disqualified. Suggest how to get qualified. Oh, we're just flashing phone numbers on the screen. I'm not going to call you, my friend, but you should contact your assembly member. Michael can drop the link in the video description. In the chat box, that's what it is. Contact your assembly member. Okay, Darius at 410. I was wondering if I have a regular UI claim, will I be able to collect my full benefit amount? Yes, regular UI, the state's unemployment benefits, will always be there continuing on. That is not a pandemic-related benefit, so that one is going to continue on. Regular UI benefits are 26 weeks in duration. What is ending is claim week ending September 4th, PEUC, PUA, $300 boost, and the MEUC boost will all end. You will not receive any further payment payouts. You will not receive a lump sum. You will not receive more payments if you have a balance. That all ends unless they happen to be extended. What ends the week after that, claim week ending September 11th, is Fed-Ed. Regular UI will continue. Okay, Janara at 410, can you go over the adult tax and yearly amount you make as a couple? The adult tax, I cannot. I'm not a tax professional, so I'm not going to go into that one. All right, Reach Communications at 410. Probably won't be able to collect the correct, unless it is California would. So given the news yesterday, which I shared in a video yesterday, if California has additional funds in the state and local American Rescue Plan Act budget, if they have that, which we don't know if they do, then they may choose to allocate that to unemployment, but that's a big if, so we don't know that yet. Okay, let's see, 410. If there is a state that would do boosted pandemic benefits, it would be California. They cannot do the boost. So the treasurer and the Department of Labor stated that the $300 boost ends. What is optional for states to choose to add additional weeks to is if they have that extra budget there from the state and local funds for PUC and PUA. Okay, Rosa at 410. Does anyone know if EDD is updated today? I'm not able to log in. If you can't log in, then try looking in your personal email, search for EDD, and find an old email from them. It doesn't matter when it was from. Click the blue hyperlink in there to UI Online, and in most cases, people are able to log in using that link. So try that and let me know. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Hi, Sammy. All right, Julie at 411. What does it mean when your claim goes from pending to disqualification? I don't understand why my claim is turning out like this. Okay, so disqualified means that you are not qualified to receive benefits for those weeks. I can't tell you exactly why. It could be something due to your certifications, an interview that you had, or something that your prior employer submitted. So you're going to need to contact the EDD to figure out why and try to get it resolved. So in order to contact them, Michael is going to drop the 134 trick. If you want to try that, it still works for a lot of people, but it does take repetitive calling. The claimer discount code, which they send you a hold line, and it is for a fee, but my link is discounted, and your assembly member. And don't skip contacting your assembly member because they've been very helpful in getting things resolved. All right, Oscar at 411. You're very welcome. Thank you. I have pending interview for wages. Do you know how long it will take? Or do you think I will get paid all pending claims after? Okay, if you are pending for an interview, the interviews are taking anywhere from 6 weeks to 18 weeks in order to schedule. So they're taking a long time. You might not even be collecting benefits by the time you actually have your interview, but don't miss it. Now, what's going to apply to you is that if you have received one or more unemployment payouts on your claim previously, and you've been pending for over 2 weeks, which you probably have if you're waiting for an interview, then you would be able to receive conditional payments, which means that the EDD will push your pending to paid while you wait for the interview. Once they interview you, as long as you are still eligible, then all is good. If for some reason you aren't eligible, then they take the payments back. But conditional payments can be applied anytime from now until September 30th. There's no way of knowing exactly when the EDD is going to process those for your unique claim. But according to the class action settlement agreement, they have until September 30th to push those through. So if you do not want to, or you cannot wait that long, then you will need to contact either the EDD directly, or you will want to reach out to your assembly member. And they, in many cases, are able to help with that. Okay, I just did that one. Julie at 411. Thank you, Jenny. My claim was stuck since March. Contacted my assembly member and within 1 day spoke to EDD rep who helped me through the process to clear out claim. Within 1 week, everything was paid. I'm really, really glad to hear that. Yes, assembly members in most cases have been very, very helpful. If you contacted your assembly member last month or before and they weren't able to help you because you were waiting on a phone interview or for other reasons, stuck in pending, try contacting them again, because a month ago we did not have the conditional payment policy where they have to push the pending to paid as long as you qualify. Now we do, and now they're able to help you on a different level. So for those of you that are still pending, contact your assembly member and see if they're able to help you. All right, I need this one again. I already did that one. It's popped up like 5 times. Okay, hold on. For UI, can people certify for those last 2 weeks after certifying on the 25th? I think you mean right before claim week ending September 4th. Yes, you're going to be paid up until claim week ending September 4th. So September 4th, and then on Sunday, September 5th, if that's your regular certification day, you will certify and get paid for that last week. If that's not your certification day, then the next week when it is your certification day, then you will certify and get paid. How many times did I just say certify? I don't know. 411, I came to the U.S. as an intern, got affected by a pandemic, and so considered as PUA. Now payments are pending, and EDD said it will call me to verify if I'm authorized to work, but I'm not anymore. Okay, so in order to be qualified to receive unemployment payments, you have to be able and willing to accept full-time work. So if you're not able to accept full-time work because you're not authorized to work, then you're not going to be eligible to collect those benefits. So that's what they're going to be telling you, what they're going to be looking for. All right, Emily, if I answer yes to having earned money that week, on the later question, did you work this week? It can't say no. Emily, I don't understand. It's a 2-parter, but I'm not going to scroll way up. Emily, I don't know where it is. Emily, you got to restate it down below. I just don't know. Okay, Raheem, 412. What are the best ways to get in contact with a claims specialist? The best way. Okay. So if you want the fastest way and you want to pay for a service, then Claimer is the fastest way. They're a company that you pay. It's $15 with my link, $20 for other calls after you use my link for one time. And they put the callers in a queue and they redial the EDD until they get a hold line. They only have one dialer, so they're not like jamming up the phone lines according to the data that the CEO showed me. They send you a hold line once they get it. And then if your call's dropped, then they cover you and they send you more hold lines if your call is dropped. So if you're waiting for a tier 2, that's a big problem right now, is that the calls are dropping. Then if your call is dropped, you simply answer their text message that, yes, you need another call, and then it calls you back. So that way is most efficient. But alongside that, also extremely efficient and free is contacting your assembly member. That's not going to get you in direct contact with the claims specialist or a tier 2 representative. But the assembly members will ask for your customer account number. They will ask for your social security number, have you sign a waiver. They then are able to communicate with the EDD liaison assigned to their office directly about your claim. And in most cases, they have been able to fix anyone who is pending and get them pushed to paid if it's something that can be fixed right away. So I would recommend contacting your assembly member, using Claimer, and then you can try the 134 trick, but that's going to take some diligence in trying over and over again. Michael can drop all those links. Okay. What's my name? My name is Ginny Silver. All right, Jameson, I think I already did that. Maybe this is a new question. What about those who are assigned PUA after not qualifying for the regular extension? Those who weren't self-employed, worked for a company, and then furloughed. Okay, yes, I already did answer that one. They're going to send you an updated second version of that verification notice that you received in your inbox. That next version of the verification notice is going to contain actual instructions on what to submit and where. Okay, let's see. Oscar at 413. I have a cousin who works for EDD, and I heard they might extend the EDD if Delta happens. So here's the thing, is that people that work for the EDD, there's nothing in Congress right now moving forward with that. So it's not moving forward that way. Could there be something proposed in Congress? Yes, there could be something proposed in Congress. The Treasurer and the Department of Labor just issued a statement that if states have remaining funds in their state and local funds from the American Rescue Plan Act, that if the state so chooses, they can reallocate those funds and use them to extend additional weeks of PEUC and PUA. So it's possible, but as of right now, the programs are ending, claim week ending September 4th. Okay, let me get this back up here. All right, let's see, Bernice at 4:13. I'm still at 4:13. Oh gosh, you guys, I gotta scroll ahead. Those on DNCP keep collecting on balance available. Yes, so DNCP is the Deferred New Claim Program or Payment Program, I think. And what that means is that when you reach the end of your benefit year, you had to file a new claim. You were awarded a new claim, but that new claim had a low weekly benefit award amount. So they set it aside, deferred it, and you kept collecting on the PEUC extension. You're going to collect on a PEUC extension up until claim week ending September 4th, and then the EDD will automatically apply your deferred claim to you. Now, there could be a small delay, there could be a delay as the EDD applies that to you, but it should be automatic. And then you'll continue to collect 26 weeks of regular unemployment. Okay, just to remind you guys, I can never get all of the questions in the chat. So if I skip your question, please re-ask it every 15 minutes because there are so many. Okay, Phyllis, you have been so, thank you. How can we find out if California has money left over to extend the EDD? So the Department of Finance is the one that has those numbers. The California Department of Finance. I emailed several different branches yesterday, and I found out that that's where I need to locate the information. Those who replied back to me from government branches all directed me to the Department of Finance. So I have a message into them, but I don't know if they'll reply. So we'll see. If I'm able to get that number, then I will share it. Okay. Hi, Mickey. You're very welcome. Thank you. Okay. I am at 422. I have claims back since 420 and 720, 13 weeks to be exact, that say not paid. Beside that, I have been able to certify like usual. I'm a UI person, I guess. Okay. So if it says not paid, I'm guessing if you're UI and it says not paid, I'm guessing that when your benefit year expired 12 months after your claim start date, because these are all the way back from April, then if your benefit year expired, you didn't file a new claim, all of those are going to be pending. And then when you file a new claim and are awarded a new claim, those will go to not paid. So it could be that. But in general, anything that you need to move from not paid or disqualified, you're going to need to contact the EDD. So you can use all the call tips, or you can contact your assembly member. Okay, let's see. Universe, 423. Ginny, I'm on regular UI with extension from the federal extension with also pandemic boost. After the 11th, I have money left, about $7,000 in my claim. Do I get to collect that after the 11th? No, you do not. So if you are on federal extension, I'm not sure if you mean PEUC because that is a federal extension, or if you mean Fed-Ed. If you mean PEUC, and you can check this by going into your history tab in UI Online, clicking on the most recent paid transaction and looking at the program type. If it's PEUC, it's going to say PEUC or Tier 2 or Tier 2 augmentation because they have to make it confusing. So if any of those, you're PEUC will end claim week ending September 4th. You will not collect anything after that unless something is extended. If you are Fed-Ed, Fed-Ed will end claim week ending September 11th. You will not collect anything on that balance after September 11th. after you certify for that. Okay. Johnny Cash, 424. What if I've been pending since 7/11 on my 2 extension PEUC? I think it's a 7-week. They put you on hold. Okay, so PEUC claims that are over 1 year old undergo what's called a new quarter wage review. Basically, the EDD wants to look at your claim, see if you qualify to go on a new claim. They review your wages, but they don't tell you that. They put you in pending, and you stay there until you contact them. So the most recent new quarter was claim week ending 7/10 because that was the first full week in the new quarter. So for those of you that are pending from claim week ending September 10th, for claim week ending July 10th, excuse me. For claim week ending July 10th, if you're stuck in pending, that's due to a new quarter wage review. You have to call the EDD. They're going to have to clear that for you, or you can contact your assembly member and they also can clear that for you. Michael can drop the link on how to locate your assembly member. And I need a drink of this tea. Sorry. Right, 424. Will there be an extension for people on Fed-Ed from the state of California? I've been hearing California will be doing an extension due to the extra money from the American Rescue Plan. No, what's happening is that California, you guys, I'm struggling today. It's Friday. California is authorized to utilize any remaining funds that are in the state and local fund from the American Rescue Plan Act, and they can choose to apply it to additional weeks of unemployment. What we don't know is we don't know if or how much California has left in the state and local fund. So that is our next question that I'm trying to figure out and that we're waiting on more information from. So no, there is currently no other extension following Fed-Ed or following the end of PEUC and PUA. There potentially could be, but it's a big if. Now, once you reach the end of Fed-Ed or PEUC, if you worked within the last 12 to 18 months as an employee, when you reach the end of your benefit year, then you are able to file a new unemployment claim. So that would be the only other way that you would be able to collect. All right, Rabia, 424. How would I apply for PUA? Self-employed, performing musician. If I have been still unemployed, hold on. If I have been employed throughout COVID as a piano teacher at a school, I've heard that makes me disqualified for PUA. So you will be qualified to collect PUA, and you can backdate your claim as well as early as 12/6 if your income was reduced due to the pandemic. Now, if you had reduced income due to the pandemic, you will be approved for PUA. What would disqualify you from collecting weekly benefits once approved is how much you earn per week. For self-employed individuals, you are going to claim your self-employment income the week in which you receive the payment. So when you certify, every other week you have to answer a series of questions about each week of unemployment. You're going to claim that income the week in which it was received, and then it's going to either reduce your unemployment benefit that you collect or disqualify you. Now, you're able to collect still partial unemployment benefits, but it's going to be reduced if you earn $100 or less, the first $25 aren't subtracted from your weekly benefit award amount, but everything else is. If you earn over $100, then the first 25% is not subtracted from your weekly benefit award amount, but everything else is. So that is the calculation for that. I need some tea. All right. All right, showtime, 425. Once September 4th comes, is it just the boost that ends or my whole claim? Claim week ending September 4th. The $300 boost, PEUC, PUA, and the MEUC boost all end. You will reach September 4th. You will certify on the 5th or the following week, depending on your certification cycle, and you'll be paid for that last week. Now, you will not be able to, Shelly, why are you messaging me? Hold on. Now, you will not be able to, the next part, sorry, Shelly's distracting me. Now, the thing that continues on after that is going to be Fed-Ed for one additional week from September 4th through September 11th. If you are a UI claim or a PEUC claim and you qualify for Fed-Ed, then you will be able to transfer over to Fed-Ed for one additional week of benefits. And that's it. So all of those are going to end. It's going to be the whole claim unless your UI. Regular UI benefits will continue on as usual. Okay, let's see. I got to scroll down a little bit. All right, David at 427. I'm receiving bi-weekly payments, but still have prior weeks pending and now not paid. Those weeks were the end of the year. Reapplied, but those did not clear. Okay, so if you are receiving your payments, but still have prior weeks pending and now not paid, the end of the year. Okay, yes, so that's because you certified on an old expired claim. Once you reach the end of your benefit year, 12 months after your claim start date in your UI, PEUC, or Fed-Ed, your claim expires. If you worked and earned income within the last 18 months, you are required to file a new claim, which you did, but you did so after it had already expired and you continued certifying on the expired claim. Once you file a new claim, you're certifying on that new claim. So all these old expired certifications, they have nothing to do with your new claim. They aren't automatically migrated over. So they're going to move from pending to not paid. So how do you get those certifications? Number one, you can try backdating your current claim by going to askedd.edd.ca.gov. You can request a backdate on Ask EDD. I can't tell you for sure if they will approve it for that circumstance. So if they don't, then you're going to need to call customer service and request them to migrate those old expired certifications on that expired claim over to your new claim. All right. Let's see. Anyone else experiencing a computer glitch for the last 2 weeks? The system is always glitchy. It is consistently always glitchy. I have several videos that go through and explain many different workarounds for the different glitches that you have. So you can find some help on my channel homepage with that. All right, 433, Assemblyman emailed me today and said they talked to EDD and asked if any changes. Told them no, nothing yet. Okay, well, I'm glad that they're communicating with you, and I hope that they're able to get your claim resolved. Okay, I'm at 435. Let's see. From Kyler, hey, my reopen claim button went away, but now my claim says disqualified for the weeks I already got paid for, and no new messages from EDD. That's a strange one. If you were already paid and then it moved to disqualified, that might result in if you see a negative balance appear on your UI Online dashboard, that means that they're going to issue you an overpayment notice. So I'd be on the lookout for that. Now, I would contact EDD, use all the call tricks that Michael can drop in the chat box, or contact your assembly member to try to get help on that, because disqualified is something that they need to work with you on in order to fix. Okay, Adrian at 435, Dr. Nitin Chota stated that Biden is pushing for the reallocation of the state funds, the extension of Fed-Ed. Can you dig into that? I already did a video on, so the letter that was published from, let's see, who was it? It was Secretary of Treasury sent a second letter over to the chair of finance in the White House. There's the letter that I shared, and then there's that one. That one is just the same text repurposed. So watch my video that I published yesterday on this. Now, it's not the extension of Fed-Ed. What it is that the secretary, the Treasury Secretary, and the Labor Secretary have stated that if states have remaining funds in their state and local government allocation from the American Rescue Plan Act, the state may then choose to use those for additional weeks of federal level unemployment benefits, which would be PEUC and PUA. So we need to know next, does the state of California have additional funds in that budget? And if so, will it choose to use them in that way? Okay, I already did that one. 436, EDD will change and not use the word pending. Instead, they're using not paid. No, that's not accurate. Pending means that it's still in the works. No final decision has been made. Not paid means that they're no longer pending. It's been moved to not paid, that you're not going to receive payment for those weeks. So they're still using all the language. Now, if you're moved from pending to not paid, that means that they made a decision to not pay you for those weeks. In many cases, the pending moves to not paid for claimants that are in this specific scenario, where you reach the end of your benefit year, 12 months after your claim start date, and you were required to file a new claim, but you didn't, and you continue to certify on that old expired claim, then your pending would move to not paid because that claim was expired. So if that's the case for you, if that sounds like that could be the reason, then you need to file a new claim if you worked within the last 18 months and your benefit year has ended on UI, PEUC, or Fed-Ed. Once you file a new claim and are awarded a new claim, however, those not paids will not migrate automatically. You will have to request them to be added as backdated weeks to your new claim, either by using Ask EDD or calling customer service. Okay, I'm at 438. I was supposed to start work back in March 2020 and open my claim. How am I supposed to provide documentation of this when it was verbal? Just got that notice about employment documentation. Okay. So you were supposed to start work. They should have sent you some sort of a formal job offer, email, a letter, etc. But you state that it's verbal. Can you reach out to that employer and ask them to provide you with a backdated job offer letter and let them know the reason why? If most likely they would be willing to do that because they did offer you that job. They did have to cancel that job offer, and it's really not going to be a big deal for them to create a letter for you so that you can back up that claim. So I would reach out to that employer or the HR department there and see if they are able to do that for you. Okay, let's see. I got that one. Hold on. I'm at 445. And yes, I have to skip around because there's so many questions, but I try to get as many as I possibly can. So if I did not get your question, please re-ask it every 15 minutes and I'll do as many as I can. All right. Let's see. Can assembly member help if you moved out of California? I can't get a tech issue reset password for updating MEUC and no one can help. Okay, that's a tech issue. I would call tech support at EDD. I have that specific unique phone number. It's different from customer service in my 25 phone numbers to call the EDD video, and Michael's going to link it in the chat box. So I would call there. The assembly member, I can't tell you if they're going to help you or not after you are no longer in their district. Try it though and see. But first, I would try calling tech support in that video. Okay, 445. I'm out of work since March 2020 and applied new claim already, but EDD switched back to PEUX 29 weeks extension, and I still have $11,000 to be claimed. If end on September 4th, what should I do? You will not be able to collect a PEUC balance after September 4th unless the programs happen to be extended. You can't collect it, so remaining balance doesn't matter. What's going to happen next is that if you worked within the last 18 months of your benefit year end date, when your benefit year ends, then you will be able to file a new regular unemployment claim. Okay, scrolling down. Screen Arts Media at 445. People who worked under the table, not paying tax, do not qualify for any UI, PEUC, or I think you mean PUA, is not legal employment. EDD will audit and require proof of income if you collected. So you are required, I'm going to say this one more time, you're required to file income taxes and claim your self-employment income if you earn $400 or more worth of self-employment income. So please file your taxes on that. Okay. Let's see, 446. Hi, what happens if you are on extension that has exhausted? What's the next step? So if you're on a PEUC extension, it goes all the way down to a $0 balance. About 1 week later, the EDD will automatically send you over an award letter. About 1 week after that, you will then be able to certify and then see your claim balance. It should be done automatically, but if it takes any longer than 2 weeks, then contact the EDD or contact your assembly member. Now, keep in mind that when you receive that award letter, it's going to be for a phase of the PEUC extension, which will either say 13 weeks, 11 weeks, or 29 weeks. But regardless of the amount of weeks awarded to you, PEUC ends claim week ending September 4th. So you will not be able to collect that entire balance. Just make sure that you understand that when you receive the letter, because it is it's more than confusing. It's misleading because they should have populated it with accurate information for your claim. All right, John Francis at 446. My new claim started April 2021 and it says ends 2022. What happens after September 4th? New claim. Okay, your regular UI, you have a 26-week award amount. Okay, it's 26 weeks. So you can collect for 26 weeks as long as you're a regular UI. Regular UI does not expire September 4th. That's the state's regular unemployment benefit. So that's going to continue until you get down to 0 after 26 weeks. What does change is that you will not be able to go on to an extension after that. So PEUC, PUA, $300 boost, and MAUC boost will all end after September 4th. Additionally, Fed-Ed extension will end after September 11th. Thank you very much. All right, Diana at 447. I recently went from PEUC Tier 2 augmentation, and it now says regular UI. What does this mean? Okay, so PEUC Tier 2 augmentation is one of the extensions for unemployment. Once you reach the benefit year end date, which is 12 months after your claim start date, you're required to file a new claim. So sounds like you reached the end of your year, you filed a new claim, and now you've been awarded a new UI claim. That means that your claim is going to be awarded 26 weeks worth of regular unemployment benefits. You will not be affected by the September 4th end date as long as you're collecting regular UI. You're on a brand new claim. If it says UI, you're going to collect all 26 of those weeks. It will not end September 4th. It will end when your balance is gone. Okay, David, 447. I recently logged in and saw I only had 1 week to certify dating back to March 2021. When I finished certifying, it says pending, and it's been pending for almost a week and a half. What should I do? Okay, so if it has been pending for that long, then you are going to need to contact either EDD or contact your assembly member. You can wait for a conditional payment to be paid out to you, which means that the EDD is required to push pending to paid as long as you've received one unemployment payout or more in the past and you've been pending for over 2 weeks. However, conditional payments can take up until September 30th to be applied. So it's going to be most likely that you will want to either contact the EDD or contact your assembly member. And Michael can share those tips in the chat box on how to do so if he hasn't done so recently. Okay, Lauren at 447. Will the week of 9/11 payment include the $300? No, it will not. $300 ends claim week ending September 4th. If you're on Fed-Ed, Fed-Ed will continue up until claim week ending September 11th, but that's after September 4th. The $300 boost will no longer be in existence. Brandon at 447, is there any more clarification on the PUA documentation requirement? Watch my video that I issued yesterday. I dig through the Department of Labor guidance. The Department of Labor is who tells the state unemployment agencies how to implement the programs. So I go through the Department of Labor document because the EDD did not yet provide full details. We're waiting on a second message from the EDD in your inbox in order to know exactly what you must provide for your claim. But in yesterday's video, I went into the Department of Labor documentation because that is what they're going to require. Okay, MT at 447. The 11-week extension Trump signed did not get enacted until February 6th, which means everyone jumped on extended benefits and didn't even know. You are required to draw those funds down first before going back on PEUC. So not everyone went over to extended benefits. Some people did have what's called extended benefits. We call it Fed-Ed in California. Some people were put onto Fed-Ed when they shouldn't have been. Now the EDD stated, did they state this to me privately or was it in a press release? I can't remember. It might have been in one of my videos where I was emailing with the EDD. I'm not sure. They stated that they're going to be migrating everyone that was wrongfully put on Fed-Ed because they shouldn't have gone there. They're going to be migrating them back over to PEUC within the upcoming weeks. PEUC is almost over, but they're doing it now. And it might be because I pointed this out to them. Let me back up a little bit with this because this is interesting. So the media department, I talk to them almost every day now. I send them an email and they reply to me and I'm grateful for that. But I think they're starting to realize that I point out legitimate problems. One thing that I asked about was claimants that were collecting Fed-Ed because they should be moved over to PEUC and collect those remaining weeks up until September 4th. They had a problematic statement in one of their press releases regarding Fed-Ed being reduced down from 20 weeks down to 13. And they stated something that was technically incorrect. And I asked them about it in their email. Following pushing that, they told me that there were just probably a few hundred people only that were wrongfully put into Fed-Ed. And I pushed on that and I said, definitely more than that. I have definitely more than 100 viewers that tell me that they are on Fed-Ed because of that lapse in benefits back in the winter. And then immediately following that, we have information released that they will be migrating those wrongfully put on Fed-Ed back over to PEUC. So they are trying to fix that, but that, you are correct, is a problem. All right. Johnny Cash at 448. You're very welcome. Thank you. Okay, Sydney at 448. What if I recently applied July 28th and still have not found out if I was approved or not? Okay, so they're going to take roughly 3 weeks in order to approve your application. And it's been probably about 4 weeks by now. So if you have submitted it and it's been 4 weeks, you can start to contact EDD customer service to make sure that everything was submitted properly and make sure that the status is moving, etc. So I would contact customer service and I would use all of the call tips that Michael can drop in the video chat box in order to get through. All right. Champ Way at 449. How long will it take for them to respond to my backdated claim? It varies. Some people see a response and an approval within a few weeks, and for some it takes a few months. Some will receive a denial as well. If you receive a denial, it is most likely due to the shifting of your base period being problematic because you earned a significant decrease or increased amount, usually decrease if they deny it, in your earnings in that base period. So it varies anywhere from a few weeks to a few months. And if denied, resubmit that application with a date that is a little bit closer to your actual claim start date. All right, Tracy at 449. Is Fed-Ed back to 13 weeks after the 11th or completely over? Fed-Ed is already down to 13 weeks. Effective August 8th, Fed-Ed is decreased to 13 weeks. As of September 11th, Fed-Ed will be completely over. Okay, let's see, Emily at 450. I was trying to ask about how to proceed with self-certification questions, PUA. When on a given week, I earned money but did not perform any work. The money earned So Emily, I already answered this question from you. If it is self-employment income, then you claim it for the week in which you receive the payment. If it is employee earnings, you claim it for the week in which you performed the work. The website won't let me select no to did you work this week if I previously said yes. Okay, so just it's self-employment income. If it's self-employment income, you have to claim it when it comes in. So just select yes. Okay. Raymond, when will the California stimulus checks be coming? So if you qualify for a Golden State stimulus check, they are stated sometime in September. We do not have any additional updates yet. You're going to monitor that progress on the California Franchise Tax Board. And I'm monitoring it too. And there's no updates. As of today, it still says September. Okay, let's see. MT at 451. If you're unemployed March 2020, you don't have extended benefits anymore. You use them. They tricked. Okay, I think I already addressed your concern earlier. Okay, scrapping T's at 451. Waited for back pay by 2020 March. July tier 2 said it should go through and 600 add. Will they still pay me that? Okay, so yes, as long as you were approved for it, it was approved, you're good, then they will pay that to you. Even if it comes through after the program ends, you are still owed that and they still will pay it out to you. Okay, Shelly was in here. Hi, Shelly. I don't know if you're still here. Thanks for stopping in. Your message to me like 10 minutes ago on Instagram distracted me and I lost my place in the messages. I'll have to take a look at that later. Okay. Hi, Henry. All right, Guillermo at 453. Will SSI recipients receive the comeback stimulus in California? So the SSI and SSP already qualified for a Golden State grant, which is how you are receiving the Golden State stimulus that you would have qualified for automatically if you're SSI or SSP or CalWorks. If you qualified for that in the first round, you do not qualify for a second. Nobody will receive a second. It's expanded eligibility. Okay, Andrea, 453. If my PUA appeal was denied, I think an error, should I appeal or try contacting an assembly member first? If you were denied, then yes, continue the appeals process. Okay, scrolling down. David at 454. My claim is almost ending. Does it renew automatically or I have to call a certain number at a certain time? Okay, so if you are UI, PEUC, Fed-Ed, you reach the end of your benefit year, 12 months after your claim start date. If you worked and earned income within the last 18 months, then you need to file a new claim as long as it's enough income to award you a new claim. So you'll have to do that yourself. If you are reaching the end of your claim because you're getting down to a $0 balance and you are UI, PEUC, or Fed-Ed, next you're going to be awarded the next phase of PEUC extension as long as you're within your benefit year, or if you didn't work at all within the last year, then that will be awarded to you automatically. You'll reach a $0 balance. About a week later, you'll receive an award letter, and then about a week after that, you should be able to certify. If it doesn't happen within 2 weeks, then call EDD. And if you're reaching the end of your claim because you are PUA, PEUC, and you're reaching that September 4th end date, then those programs expire. And hopefully you already heard the information regarding that, which I've repeated several times earlier. Okay, I need a sip of this. Let me check this. Shelly's still in here. You're driving to work. Shelly, why are you typing if you're driving to work? Don't do that. Okay, all right, scrolling down. Let's see, Grandma Ducky at 456. I called EDD at 5 minutes to 8 in the morning and got through most times. Yes, many people report that that is a good time for them, calling right when they open. Okay. You guys, I'm going to do about 5 more minutes worth of questions, and then I'm going to be all done for the day. All right. As PUA, I learned so much about UI, PEUC, and Fed-Ed. A great wealth of knowledge for you. These must be very boring to sit through. All right, 506. Do you think the governor of California will extend it? It depends on if the state of California has remaining funds that aren't earmarked for something else available in the state and local fund from the American Rescue Plan Act. If they do, then the governor can, well, it can be proposed by the governor or proposed by California state legislature and then approved by the opposite branch to extend federal unemployment. So we have to wait and see if that money is available. All right, Ira White at 507. I did a new claim and nothing happened since April. Okay, so if you had to file a new claim and you weren't awarded a new claim, it's just sitting there, contact the EDD. If you've been waiting since April, you need to contact them. You need to contact your assembly member in order to get faster help. So I would, Michael can drop the link and you can contact your assembly member. All right, this is all I see from you, Billy Bob. There's lots and lots of questions. I get as many as I can. Isabel at 509. What is the transaction type original certification? I'm not really sure what that reference is. Transaction type original certification, perhaps you submitted 2 certifications for the same week. Sometimes when people certify for the first time, they both fill out the paper certification form and they also do it online because they don't know to just do one. So it could mean that maybe you perhaps submitted a duplicate certification and that's how they're noting the one that they are utilizing. That's just my guess. I'm not quite sure on that one. All right, Diana, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, Jean at 510. I've been certifying for 22 weeks now, and it still says pending. I did the ID me thing and verified, and I still try to call, and I can't get through. It still says pending, and it's been 22 weeks. You've been pending for 22 weeks? No, I'm really sorry to hear that. Okay, ID me verified. Okay, you call and you can't get through. Contact your assembly member. Michael's going to drop the link. Don't wait. Contact them right away. You've been waiting a very long time. Contact your assembly member. If you want to see what to expect, I have a video about that. They're going to ask you to possibly fill out an intake form. They're going to ask you for your customer account number, your social security number, sign a waiver. They are then going to be able to follow up with the EDD on your behalf, and they will let you know what is needed to fix your claim, or in many cases, they can get it fixed for you. So contact them right away. All right. Let's see, 510. Hi, Ginny. Can you check if I'm on UI or PUA? How can I check? Okay. You can check by going to UI Online, your dashboard. Click on History, the History tab up at the top. Then you're going to click on your most recent certification, and under the program type, it's going to say UI, if you're UI. If you're PUA, it's going to say DUA or disaster assistance. That makes sense. And then it is going to say PEUC, Tier 2 or Tier 2 augmentation if you are PEUC, and it'll say Fed-Ed if you're Fed-Ed. Okay. Do you believe there'll be, I'm not going to answer my own personal opinion on this because it clouds the facts. The fact is currently PEUC, PUA, $300 boost, MEUC, end claim week ending September 4th. The Fed-Ed extension ends claim week ending September 11th. We have nothing proposed and moving in Congress. What we do have is basically approval from the Treasury Secretary and the Labor Secretary for states that have a remaining balance in their American Rescue Plan Act state and local government fund, approval for states to decide to utilize those funds to extend pandemic unemployment, PEUC and PUA, not the $300 boost. So if California has additional funds that are not already earmarked for something else, then they potentially could use it for extending PEUC and PUA. That is what we're waiting on right now. Okay, 510. Why is it that on 9/4, the $300 boost ends, and in order to qualify for regular UI, you have to work within the last 18 months when the majority of people did not work due to the pandemic? The reason for this is because pandemic-related benefits end September 4th. So you can only qualify to receive additional benefits if you qualify throughout the regular state unemployment system. So unless those pandemic-related benefits are extended, those programs have ended. Okay. Emily, I already answered this for you. Is there a second California stimulus, or was it just the $600 and that's it? So the Golden State stimulus, the name is misleading. I don't like this name, but I use this name because it's what it's called in all of the bill text, on the website, etc. So I want it to line up. There's Golden State Stimulus 1, Golden State Stimulus 2. You do not receive two $600 checks unless you were an ITIN filer who did not receive the federal $600 because you didn't qualify there. Then they replace that one with another $600. But Golden State Stimulus 1, if you qualified for $600 there, you do not qualify for a Golden State $600 too. It's not another one, it's expanded eligibility. What you do qualify for in terms of a second payment possibly would be if you have dependents. Then you would qualify for a $500 additional payment under the Golden State Stimulus 2 bill. So if you have dependents, you do get a second payment, but it's $500 flat, not per dependent. Okay, Devin at 511, how long is the address verification? I'm still pending. Address verification can take quite a while, and it's inconsistent. So I would contact your assembly member. Michael can drop the link in hopes of getting them to move it through faster. Okay, let's see. Serena at 512. If you have EDD extension, they are going to be keeping our unemployment checks coming. So the only thing that's going to continue is regular unemployment benefits, which lasts a duration of 26 weeks, regular UI. September 4th, PEUC, PUA, $300 boost, MEUC, all come to an end. Claim beginning September 11th, the Fed-Ed extension comes to an end. So if you are collecting on an extension, and it's PEUC, you will not collect after September 4th on that PEUC extension. You may qualify to move over to a Fed-Ed extension for that one remaining week up until claim week ending September 4th. Claim week ending September 11th, and then Fed-Ed will cease to exist. All right. Let's see, Alan at 513. Hello, will EDD of California have money to extend the same benefits that? Okay. Oh, there's more. Was doing before the benefits were planned to expire. Okay, so it's not that EDD has money left. What we need to see is, does the state of California, from the American Rescue Plan Act, does their state and local government allocation have remaining funds? If the state and local government funds were not entirely used or aren't earmarked for something else that is yet to be used, then the state may have the possibility, they may choose to extend PEUC and PUA, but we need to see if the funds are there and if they choose to use it that way. All right, Lorna at 513 for PUA. Do the taxes with my husband, but I earn cash and I do not report. Only his income, but filing together. That affects my work cleaning, and they paid me $200 a week cash. Lorna, if you earn over $400 a year in self-employment income, you're required to file income taxes on it. You need to file income taxes on that. So even self-employment, even if it's cash, even if it's under the table, even if you're not required to file a tax return based on wages, self-employment income is different. So you are required to file a tax return. So make sure that you file and pay taxes on that amount. Okay. 513, I have not been able to get through to anybody. Okay. So if you can't get through to anybody, Michael's going to drop all the call tips again, unless he just dropped them, and then you just click on them. 134 phone trick still works for some if you keep redialing it. 25 phone numbers to call EDD in case you need to use like the tech support line or the ID verification line instead of calling main customer service, and contact your assembly members. They have been very helpful in getting people's problems resolved. Additionally, if you want to pay a third-party service to send you a hold line, my link for claimer discounts your call by $5 for the first call. All right, 514. And I said I was going to be done right around now, but there's still 320 people in here, so I think I'm going to answer a few more. But my throat's losing it. Okay. I am Pisces. Says claimer's legit. It was the best $14.99 ever. Okay, good. I'm glad that worked well for you. Okay. How much does EDD want you to have made working in order to be eligible for a new claim? They're going to be looking at your prior year's earnings, either the last 12 months or if you qualify for what's called an alternate base period, it'd be 18 months. But they want to see $1,400 within the last year of W-2 earnings in order to qualify for a new claim. Okay, G-Box at 514. She's right. Contact your assembly member. They have a team that work on EDD cases that can follow up with your claims, and you'll hear back within a week. Yes. So the response time, though, does vary because there's 80 different assembly members, and they are all different processing speeds, different workloads, etc. Some of them do have 2 staff members that they have hired on to handle constituents with EDD problems. And some of them have not yet hired those people. So it's going to vary in terms of response time, but contact them. They're going to send you an intake form or questions, and then you do need to wait for them to get back to you. They will most likely send you a big overestimate. It's going to take us 2 weeks, etc. And then you'll probably hear back within a few days. Shelly, are you still in here? Because Shelly, if you're still in here, Lorena Gonzalez can't Zoom with me anymore because of her health. And I didn't realize that she was having health issues, but now I can no longer do an interview with her. All right. Serena at 514. So if I was on unemployment and laid off for the last year, W-2 due to COVID, and I opened an online Etsy shop, but not making enough funds, can I apply for unemployment still? Okay, so if you were laid off last year due to COVID, I think you're asking when your benefits end, when your extension ends. So if you were laid off last year, you're collecting a PEUC extension, you are going to have your benefits end September 4th or September 11th if you qualify for that 1 week of Fed-Ed. Can you file a new claim when you reach the end of your benefit year? Yes. If you reach the end of your benefit year 12 months after your claim start date, and you have worked within the last 18 months, and you qualify for a new claim, then you can file a new claim. Now, with your online shop, you're going to be required to certify for that income. So any sales that you make, if you are approved for a new claim or currently on your claim, you should be already doing this, you'll certify for that income the week in which you receive the payment. Okay, I did that one. Can't read your name because it's 2 dots. 514. I could certify until 529. Then I get notification. Said my claim expired on 4/3/2021. I should not reapply because I did not earn enough money in the last 18 months. What should I do? Okay, so if you could certify on 529, you got a notification that your claim expired. Okay, so if your claim expired and you did not work within the last 18 months, then the EDD should have applied the PEUC extension to your claim automatically, but that rule didn't take effect until June. The automatic extension where you don't have to file a new claim if you didn't work was only effective starting in June. Your claim expired in April. I'm not sure that they went through and sweep the system and sweep the system and automatically updated old expired claims with that new requirement, I don't think that they would have caught that. So I think that you are sitting and waiting because at the point when your claim expired in April, you were required to file a new claim regardless of income. So what I would do for you is I would contact either your assembly member or the EDD. An assembly member is going to be faster. Contact your assembly member. Let them know that you need a PEUC extension that has not been applied, and they should be able to help you to get that. Okay, let's see. Michelle at 5:15. On last PEUC extension, reached the end of benefits and filed a new claim since I had enough wages within 18 months. Received both on award letter and invalid claim letter saying not enough wages within 12 months. Okay, so you filed for a new claim because you received both an award letter and an invalid claim letter. I've had a few people tell me this recently. And the EDD seems to be inconsistent with this 12 months, 18 months. Because that's when it happens. If you earned money, but it was within the 18-month time frame, but not within the 12-month time frame, people are reporting that they're getting two different things. They're getting awarded a new claim, and they're also receiving a PEUC extension. First, they receive the invalid claim, and then that is followed by a PEUC extension. Now, this could be possible if you were awarded a new claim and the weekly benefit award amount is $25 less than your current claim, then they would defer that claim, keep you on a PEUC extension until September 4th, and then apply that deferred claim. But you didn't receive a deferred claim notice. You received an invalid claim notice. So that seems weird and incorrect. I would check your UI online and see which one populates there. Either the PEUC extension or the new claim. And that is very odd. Okay, scrolling down. All right, Jordan at 5:17. If I got laid off at the end of the year, can I still apply? So if you got laid off at the end of the year, meaning that you want to backdate your claim, yes, you can apply because you are currently unemployed. So you can go ahead and apply. All right, Manny Maker at 5:17. My benefits end 11/2021. I'm already on PEUC. My balance is $366. Will I receive more? You say PEUA. I'm not sure if you mean, I think you mean PEUC because you give a November 2021 end date, and that would not be PUA. So I think you mean PEUC. PEUC will end claim week ending September 4th. So you're going to use up your balance. If you hit zero, I can't calculate this in my mind because I don't know your weekly benefit award amount. Most likely you're going to hit zero before September 4th. When you hit zero before September 4th, you will then be awarded an automatic PEUC extension for that next phase of PEUC. It should be awarded to you within 2 weeks of hitting zero. You'll collect that up until September 4th. And then if you qualify to move over to Fed-Ed, then you will be automatically migrated over there for one remaining week up until September 11th. After that, you will not be able to file a new claim until your benefit year ends, 11/2021. You can file a new claim if you received income within the last 18 months. All right, you guys, I am going to do one last question. Okay, Patty at 5:29. Thank you. My EDD is running out. Can I get a job and quit and reapply to get EDD for a whole year again? No, you cannot. So if you, in order to qualify to receive unemployment, you must have lost your employment or your self-employment due to a pandemic-related reason or due to no fault of your own. You cannot quit and turn away work and then receive unemployment benefits because you left voluntarily. So no, that would not apply to you. Okay, you guys. Oh, except I see Karen in here. Okay. All right. All right, you guys. I am going to stare at the screen for a second. Okay, you guys, I'm going to head out for the night. I will be live again next week on Wednesday at 4. As usual, I like to remind you guys that the easiest way to get a question answered from me when it's not in the live stream is to leave it within the first 30 minutes that I publish a new video in the video comments, regardless of the topic. So even if I'm posting something about self-employment or small business, etc., post that comment within the first 30 minutes after I publish a brand new video, and I will sit there with that video open and answer all the comments for the first 30 minutes. Okay, you guys, I will see you next time.